Right, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be, uh, it's kind of something I just came up with, I guess, yesterday. I was thinking about maybe doing some sort of a kind of press your luck, fast play football game. And so I started sort of testing it out and thinking more not press your luck, I guess, is what into something else. Hopefully my microphone will stay there. I'll pop out. So it's kind of a little game that came out of it. You can see here I've got it's a 21-7 lead for Team B. This is so early I don't even have any teams rated or anything, but I could see this being a cool college or NFL game. You can see a couple scores here: 41-31, 22-0, and this is what it looks like. So basically, each team gets 10 possessions, and number 6 here. And it's a 21-7 lead for B. Come on now. Come on now. Stay in there. Stay with us. For Team B. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my microphone to stay in there. And what you do is basically you flip cards until you hit an ace. An ace is sort of a drive stopper. And you can either punt, which we got a few punts on here, or if you're close enough, you could kick a field goal, which I have a couple of field goals in here too. And field goals, I go 1 to 80 as a make, 81 to 100 as a miss. So there are a couple of missed field goals in here. There's one here too. There were a lot of field goal kicks here. And I'm just playing around with different percentages to see what feels right. So this game had 4 aces, and so those are stoppers. So this team didn't score any. This one had 4 aces, but I believe 2, but no turnovers. So you can see there was a whole run of touchdowns. Basically, you flip cards until you hit the amount needed for a touchdown, and once you pass that amount, then you've scored. If it's an ace, then you have to decide punt. If you're inside the 30-yard line, you can kick a field goal. If you're outside the 30, you can't kick a field goal. And what's the other? Oh, the king. So if you draw a king is a turnover. So you can see we got 1 turnover in the game. They drove down to the 9-yard line and committed a turnover. So that was a tough one for the A team. We got a nice little run going here. It's 21-7, and I'll just flip through and show you. And dice do come into play, so I got 2 D10s and a D6. I can show you how those work as well. Probably going to run into something here. So Team B is on Team A's 42 and heading in. So they only have 42 yards left to go for a touchdown. So that's 3, 8, 13, 22, and a stop. So they have 22 yards before the drive ended. And so 10, 20, 1, 2. So they're at the 20. So they're going to kick a field goal. And the way I've been kicking field goals is 2 D10s, roll them, and 33. So that's going to be a field goal make. So that makes the score 24-7. On the kickoff, all kickoffs start at the 25, but I don't have any actual kickoff returns. But I have been checking for kick returns for a touchdown and punt returns for a touchdown. So the way I'm doing that is just if you roll 100, then that's going to be a return for a touchdown, whether it's a punt return or a kickoff. So this is an 89 and no return for a touchdown. But A has the ball back. This is their 7th possession. So they have 7, 8, 9, and 10. They have 4 possessions left. I give 2 shuffles for each team. So I just shuffle the cards twice. And it's a, I don't know, fun little fast play game that sort of unfolds. So they got 75 yards to go for a touchdown. That's sort of our number. 7, 14, 17, 19, 29, 31, 36, 40, 44, 49, 55, 63, 65. Remember, we got 75 to go. 68 and 76. So that's the TD. So A comes back with a 75-yard drive for a touchdown, and that makes it 14-0, or 24-14, with just a few possessions left. So start on the other side of the field. Is there a kick return for a touchdown? Nope. And then a couple shuffles, and then we're back into B's 7th possession. I could see you. This is sort of the 3 aces and a king. Feels like the optimal game scoring positions. But I could just as easily see you. I've been thinking, well, what if you have two like really good defensive teams, right? Maybe you need to add a 4th ace in. Obviously, there's going to be, and maybe you need a second turnover for that. I would have to really sort of play out all those scenarios to see how those games go. But basically, every time you introduce a face card, you're introducing a higher percentage of a stop or a turnover, right? So you can even do a king for an interception, queen for a fumble, or something like that. So just kind of thinking through, and then eventually maybe I need to do these cards. That's an ace. I'm just going to not do that right off. But that would have been an ace, and the drive is over with no gain, right? And then they would need to punt. So let's see. They got to go 75 yards. It is 10, 12, 22, 32, 37, 46, 53, 56, 63, 68, and 76. So that's going to be a score for Team B. So 75 yards for the TD. And scoring is picking up here in the second half. You can see in the first half, not much going on with some punts, and there was one TD. There was a turnover. So A is going to have their 8th possession. This is really a possession game, not a timed game. No run back on the kickoff. Then you can see you can move through a game relatively quickly. Probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't take too long. Okay, so Team A with the ball, they're down 31-14. They've got to go 75 yards to 8, 11, 13, 21, 31, 41, and a stop. So they go 41 yards, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 1. Takes it down to the 34. They're outside of field goal range, so we're going to say a punt. And the punt is 1d6, 1d10. This is your first digit, so that would be a 16. That would be a 26. That'd be a 66. So we'll see here. That's a 32 on the punt. And they are at the 34. So that takes it down to the 2-yard line. And let's go ahead and roll for a punt return for touchdown. No punt return for touchdown. Again, that would have to be in my case, a 0-0. But maybe you have dice with a 10 on them. So if your dice are 1 to 10, that would be a 10 and a 10. So you can see that field position does come into the game. B8. So they're going to take over at their own 2-yard line. They got to get a 98. So they got to really get pretty lucky going through to get 98 yards here. So see 5, and they don't. So they get 5 yards, and they're going to have to punt the ball. So we're going to get 5 yards. We're going to get a punt. That is a great punt, 67. So they did that a couple of times. They did that here too, and they really just pushed the field position. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down to the 26. Is there a return for touchdown? Oh, almost. Look at that. Almost a return. So they're going to take over at the 26-yard line. That's going to be 74 to go for a touchdown for the A team. So A9, this is their 9th drive. And they are down 31-14. They did get a stop on the last possession, which gives them a chance. I don't think they can win. They can only get to 31-28 if they score. So 74 yards for a touchdown. 6, 8, 14, 19, 21, 29, 38, 42, 49, 56, 59, 67, 75. Okay, so that's a TD. So 70, they got to go 74 yards. They wind up with a 75, and they get a touchdown. Makes it 21-31, so definitely making the game a little more respectable. Let's see if they can get a stop here on the B team's 10th drive, or the 9th drive, sorry. We'll bring it back to the 25. Is there a return for a TD? There's not. So just a fun little quick play game. I could see this being a card game where you have, instead of face cards, you have actual cards that say drive end, or punt, or, whatever it is, interception. So that instead of an ace, you hit one that says, end of the drive. So no return on the kick, and they've got to go 75 yards. So 10, 12, 14, 23, 29, 35, 43, 51, 57, 60, 66, 75. So they do drive down for the touchdown, as the scoring definitely is picked up. So 38-21 is our score, and we have one more drive left for each team. So A's 10th drive. Again, the scoring is a little bit down from the 4 aces, but there's also one more opportunity for a turnover. Turnover is just going to be right where wherever the drive ended. So if they get 8 yards and a turnover, you go 8 yards, and then the other team takes over right there. So it's a little bit different than just a punt. So no kickoff return for TD. Here's 75 to go. 12. Oh, 12 yards and a stop. So 12, and they're going to punt. 10, 11, 12. So from the 37, I'm going to get a punt here. That's an 18-yard net on the punt. So 10, 20, and then 1, 2. So to the 45-yard line, and B will start there for their last drive, and that's going to be only 55 yards to go for a touchdown. Less than that to get into field goal range. So I don't know. I was just thinking about, like how could you just do a fun little quick play game, and I'll have to like flesh this out a little bit, maybe write these things down. So 55 to go. 15, 20, 29, 37, 41, 43, 50, and they need 5 more. Oh, and the drive is stopped. So 50 yards, and let's try the field goal. Field goal 1 to 80 is a good kick. That's a 3. So field goal, and that brings the final to 41-21. Team B over Team A. So maybe I'll play another whole game and maybe add some just real names into this and see how it goes. Some of the things I'm thinking about is, like, say you're setting up like a Lou Holtz against the world or something like that, and then having Notre Dame from 1980 whatever 87, and then they have to sort of roll through the greats in the history of football, all the while adding or subtracting more opportunities from the pile. Um, and so we'll see. I don't know how that will work. Um, but just thinking about, adding real teams, you could look at how many um, points scored for the two teams, and if it reaches a certain threshold, you take one ace away, or but if the total points is between this and this, we remove one ace. If it's between this and this, we remove two aces. That way there's more scoring in the game. Obviously here there's 41 to 31, so quite a bit of scoring here. You can see they almost didn't do anything but score in the second half. And so you got like first half, second half. You kind of always have that because it's based on possessions, number of possessions per game. Not very realistic, but sort of fun. And I think if you added in real teams, it would be a fun little quick play game. So just wanted to show that. Just thinking about it. All right. If you haven't tried the new actual quick play football game, NFL game, you can do that. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can go download the teams. The teams that you get are Tennessee, Cincinnati, Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay. And you can go and you can play this quick play game. It actually has all the offensive players. Still looking for some feedback from anyone who's played that. So you can send an email to advancedstatsfootball@gmail.com and just let me know, are there things that need to be changed? What do you like? What do you not like? And it provides a relatively realistic rendition of football in about an hour to an hour and a half, which is nice. Depends on how quickly you sort of move through, and as you get the hang of it, it's a little bit better. But just wanted to show this. It was a thought. It was an idea. Any thoughts on it? Just leave it in the comment section below. Otherwise, I'll just try to kind of keep developing the idea. So this would be like a super fast play game, drive by drive, but really tightly controlled. The other game is drive by drive and a quicker playing game than most of the full-on sims on the market, but still a little bit more detailed, way more detailed than this, but a little bit more detailed. All right, that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.